Hello everybody, Joe Marquez here once again from the Sons of Technology. And I want to showcase for you today how you can really streamline communication within Google Classroom. You see, in Google Classroom, there's a lot of great places for students and teachers to communicate, but it can be all over the place and jumbled all over the place. So I want to show you how to really streamline that right now. The first thing you definitely want to do though is before you do anything with your students in communication, you definitely want to go and check your cogwheel for your class details and your class settings. And under General, check where it says Stream, because this is going to let you know how your students can comment. It defaults to students can post and comment, and we don't really want the students to post topics in that stream, just comment on things that you've placed in there. So we're going to go ahead and select students can comment only. If you select only teachers can post and comment, then no students can really communicate at all within Google Classroom, and we don't want that. And if you do have students who are being funny or they're posting things that are inappropriate, you can always mute the individual student rather than the entire class. And I can show you definitely how we're going to do that. So we're going to set students can only comment, and we're going to go back into our class. Now, for remote learning and distance learning, I always love to do topics of just for that week. So week of April 6th to 10th. And within that week, I always have my back channel at the very top and then the assignments all the way down. Now, the reason I have a back channel is because I want students to be able to have one singular place every single week. They can ask general questions. They can help other students out who have questions. So this back channel is just like the class communication for the week. Now, that doesn't mean they can't comment on assignments as well and stuff like that, but I just really love it to be in one place so we can see everything in this one entire thread. So let me show you right here. I'm going to go ahead and click View Material, and this is where students can comment and so can the teacher. So as a teacher, I'm going to say, hey students, how is your week? Any questions? And when I post that, it goes right into the back channel. Now let me show you what the students would see. So the students would come in here, they'd select the back channel and click View Material, and they would be able to see what is going on for that week within the class. And so when they click on it, they'll see that I said, hey students, how is your week? Now the students can reply directly to this comment right here, and it automatically attaches my name, my email to that comment. And they can say, hey Mr. Marquez, I have a question on ... and they would ask that question and they would hit comment. Now, here's the thing about this. Now, it attaches the email, which means it creates an automatic email to you, but we want to make sure that we're notified, like you see down here, that a student is actually reaching out. So this is how we set that up. So in my mail, what I do, and you can notice there's that comment, I want to start creating some labels. And so this is a comment in my back channel. So I created a label called Google Classroom. I could call it Google Classroom back channel if I wanted to, but all the comments from all the different assignments are going to go there. So I'm just calling it Google Classroom. And the way that I did that was I went into my cogwheel right up here and I hit Settings. And on that cogwheel, I went to Labels, and I went all the way down and I hit Create New Label, and I hit Create, and I titled it Google Classroom. So that's what I went ahead and did. And when I went back to that and I got that email, what I did was I went to the actual email right here, and I selected these three dots, and I wanted to filter the messages so that it goes directly to my Google Classroom labeled folder. And so it says, how do you want me to label these? Well, all of these are going to come from Google Classroom. So I'm just going to leave the @classroom.google.com. I erase everything at the front. And then it's going to have the words commented on within that email. And I create that filter. And it says, where would I like to apply this filter? I want to apply the filter to Google Classroom. And I hit Create Filter, and it will automatically now create that filter. So anything that comes into me from Google Classroom with the terms commented on is going to go directly to my Google Classroom folder right there. I can show you again. Here's another student right here that we're going to jump into. I'm going to select the back channel, View Material, and this student right here is going to reply, create a whole new reply. So they're going to say, I have a question on ... They send it. The great thing about it is, even if it doesn't attach your name, because you're the owner of the class, you're going to receive all communications or comments from that's going on here. And so notice we have this thing called, it says fake classroom, because I just created the fake classroom student, and here's the back channel. Once again, we want to make sure that this is being filtered to Google Classroom, and it absolutely is. So when I click there, I see that right there. That's the pretty amazing thing about this. And it also labels it very brightly in your inbox, so that if you don't have that label there, you have it there. And I created it green by, on my label, I went to the 3 dots and I changed the label color to something bright and cheery. So there's that. Now, sometimes the students want to ask you a question in private. They don't want to ask a question to the entire feed. So what happens is, these are called private comments, and private comments can be left on any assignment in Google Classroom. So let me show you. So in Google Classroom, I have this assignment right here called agenda, and I always make an agenda for the week as an assignment, and you can see that in my tips for Google Classroom video that we have on our site. And what we do is, the students, if they have a question on this exact assignment but they don't want the rest of the class to see it, they would click on the assignment right here. They would view the assignment, and instead of leaving under class comments right here, they're going to come over to private comments over here. And it's going to be again here, hey, Mr. Marquez, and they don't have to tag me in it because it's private directly to me. How do I ... And it sends it right there. And once again, they don't have to tag me because it's directly to me. And I'm going to go back into my mail right here, and you'll see that I now have a private comment from my student, and it's also labeled. And I did the same thing. I went into my settings, I clicked on labels, and I created a label called GC for Google Classroom private comments. And I changed the color to red because if it's a private comment, that's going to be something I really want to focus on. So I want to make sure it's that bright red color that I get. Now, once again, how did I auto filter it to that? Well, once again, what I did was the first time a private comment comes to me, I select that email. I then select the 3 dots when I'm on that email and say filter messages like these. And the messages like these that I want to do is I erase again that beginning, and the words I want it to be is private comment. And once I've done that, I create that filter. Where do I want it to go? I want it to go to my Google Classroom private comments, and I create that filter. So now anything with the term within the text of private comment comes right into my email. I will now have not only it being placed in my inbox with those labels attached, but also right over here as well. Now, what if a student wants to contact another student? Well, let me show you. So let's say this student has a question, or maybe they're working together and they want to comment somebody else. They go to the class comments, they click the plus button, and they start typing in the student's name. And as soon as they start typing in the student's name, all of those students with that name pop up. And so I'm going to go ahead and select the student and say, hey, can we get together and talk about this ... And we'll hit send. And because we tagged that student, if I go to that student's email right over here, I would be able to see that that student now has received right there that email, hey, can we talk about this again, from that student. So you're creating this streamlined communication between students to students and students to teacher. But here's the great thing about it. You're like, well, what if kids are talking to each other and I want to see what they're doing or this or that? Because it's a class comment, you see that as well. So you can start seeing the kids actually talking back to each other. So these are just a few tips that I wanted to share with you on how I can streamline those classroom communications right out of the classroom. Thank you for listening, and have yourselves a great day.